It's Filaments and Fibre with Steve Brooks and Stephanie Lester.
I know this is probably a bit late to say, but
Well, it is. I'm just
when's
started.
it going to be Stephanie Lester and Steve Brooks?
I just
How slow am I?
Yeah, you're 16 podcasts slow. That's what you are. You've only just noticed.
No, I have, but I've just I don't know. It's just started to irritate me after 16 podcasts.
I've just started to irritate you after 16 weeks.
No, you irritated me on the number one. Let's be honest.
Oh, well, this is a nice welcome for all our guests out there. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Here It's Sunday. It might not be Sunday where you are, but wherever you are, wherever you're doing, hope you're having a nice time. We are. I was.
I've got my voice back.
Yeah, there was a downside to everything, and the folks. Yeah. I suppose I better get this over with. How you feeling? From we went on to the current issue, but the cold and that seemed to go on.
Oh my God,
for a lot longer.
Weeks, but it's absolutely.
It wasn't bloody weeks. Well, it was 3 weeks. To me, it seemed like weeks.
It was 3 weeks, but
at least
it's
you can
gone.
make your own espresso now, which is nice. Yeah.
Maybe only espresso at the time.
You
were always like 6 miles away and say something like, "Is there anything I can do for you?" From there, not really.
Yeah. Yeah, I've put the megaphone back in the garage now.
You don't need a megaphone.
Ooh. Anyway, there's I'll try not to make this podcast all about me. All I can say is commissions. It's been. We'll get onto this later on.
Commissions. I've had a few.
Yeah, but then again, too few to mention.
Yeah.
But I'm going to mention them anyway later on in the show.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're feeling better anyway.
Yes.
So I haven't seen you for a while. Glad you're feeling better. Yeah, nice to see you in the studio here. We're looking a bit lighter this morning in a head.
We've had a haircut.
We've just had a haircut.
We've been to the salon, haven't we?
Been to the salon. Yep. I had this very grumpy old dear that cut mine. And you had this suave young Adonis that did yours, didn't you?
Well, that's your reality.
We do each other's hair. We cut each other's hair. If you haven't
let's be honest.
That.
No, I cut your eyebrows and I just do your hair to the side.
You said to me this morning, because I got my eyebrows closed, my eyes closed while you did the eyebrows, and you had sneakily brushed with your feet into a pile, and I opened my eyes and said, "That's from your eyebrows down there." This is a bloody big pile of grey hair. Yeah, but I always like it when we have haircuts.
Yes, very much so.
Because we both have it short, we can do. And I remember the first time I ever did yours.
Oh, you were terrified.
I was terrified.
Yes,
I'm terrified of you anyway. But having to give you a haircut when your hair at the time was.
I'm not precious about my hair, as in
bloody good job.
If it's too short, it'll grow. I've never had the issue when I was young, and there used to be teenage girls who were my friends who'd be in tears. No, they'd be in tears after they had their haircut because it didn't look quite like they had anticipated.
It's like the picture they took of their latest girl from the telly or whatever.
Take a picture in of Julia Roberts, and you come out looking like, I don't know, Kevin Keegan or something.
Yes, you've just given your age away. Yeah. People are saying, "Who the hell's Kevin Keegan?" Yeah. Look him up. Look up Kevin Keegan, and you will see the sort of haircut Steph used to have when she was younger.
No, not me. No, Kevin Keegan had curly hair. Oh, did have a perm once. I must admit,
he was the perm. He was the perm king of the football ground, wasn't he? Yeah. So we have our usual monthly haircut where we fill the Hoover with.
Yes.
I'm surprised you haven't found a way of using it to...
No, do you know, I was only thinking that this morning when I was actually picked up the hair, thinking it is so smooth. There's no way you could felt that into anything, because I was actually thinking, I wonder if I could use that for eyelashes.
To make a silverback gorilla.
No, for eyelashes, but they're so straight.
It is.
And so smooth that couldn't use it.
That says something for our sort of eating regime and vitamins and everything, that our hair is so silkily smooth.
Not really. It's got nothing to do with that.
We can get advertisers for L'Oreal here.
Because we're worth it.
You'd think this was rehearsed and honed to perfection, this show. We just know what each other's going to say. It's that season. The season's arrived. How many dozen have I made so far?
Oh, mince pies.
Mince pies, I love it.
We look forward to our 11s. In fact, it'll be after this podcast, won't it?
It will be. We'll have a
coffee
mince
and a mince pie.
And they're getting a bit short out there. I better make some more. But I think, actually, that I made them a little bit earlier this year. I'll tell
you what, though. These mince pies, imagine a Cornish pasty. I mean, that's how packed they are. You pick them up and you go, Jesus Christ! You
gave me one last week, and I've got RSI in my wrist now for handling it.
I'm going to do a little segue here, a little segue into one of your commission pickups.
Oh, okay.
For instance, when the chap came to pick up his commission yesterday, you offered him a mince pie, and he went, "Oh my Lord!"
Yeah, he said, "This is a proper." He's from up north.
Yeah.
This is proper mince pie, lad. He said,
He did.
There's a crust on this. Yeah, when I were a lad, mince pies didn't. He said, a pie without a base isn't a pie.
I don't think he said that at all.
He
but
did,
anyway,
but not in that accent, probably. No.
Anyway, he came to pick up.
He came. Well, we'll get on. I'm leaving my commissions till the end because I'm going to build up and build up.
In other words, you just want to carry on and on and on and on at the end.
Because people are going to carry on listening because they want to hear about my commissions.
Well, at least you can drop off, guys, at that point.
So mince pie season. I think we started a bit early this year, because it was in November it's November now.
But the other thing, I mean, I know it's the season and it's mince pies, but also we're preparing for the Advent calendar. Which starts on the 1st of December.
Shit. I'm still 8 short.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I've got about 30.
Oh, for God's sake. Really? Can I borrow some of yours?
No.
You started this a couple of years ago when we said, let's do an Advent calendar.
Yeah. No,
you had had an Advent calendar, you weren't very enamoured with it.
I bought one, which was a fluff.
Not for me,
for myself.
So for herself,
let's face it, no one else was going to buy it for me, were they? Anyway, so I bought it for myself.
That's a bit cutting, isn't it? Jesus, we are getting into that. Knife's getting a bit deep this morning.
You see, I decided not to do what Sammy did, which is try and hint to her husband what she wanted. I just went and bought it myself. So anyway, I bought myself. There you go. I bought the Advent calendar for myself, which was fluff, basically, wore lots of different types. I was so disappointed.
Yeah. Well, once you've opened one window and there's a bit of fluff behind it.
I mean, there was the odd thing which you went, oh, that's interesting. And then it was like...
I wonder what's behind number 14. Oh, another bit of fluff.
Yeah.
15, another bit of
this
fluff.
One's blue. Oh, nice.
Oh, lovely, yeah.
Anyway, so I was a bit disappointed. So then I decided I'd do one for you, because I thought, that's a really good idea. That didn't work for me. I'll do one for you. And that'll hint, as in next year we'll do one together.
And we did. Last year was the first year we did a joint one.
Yep.
It was good, great fun.
Well, what I love about it is it's Christmas Day, as lovely as it is. You know, you get up, you open presents, and you're done.
And you drink, and then you fall asleep.
Yeah.
And eat in between,
And maybe wake up and say another mince pie.
Great day.
But I love presents, giving and receiving.
You do.
And opening and everything. So how lovely that every day
in December we get a pressie.
Yeah.
Only a small one, only a little one.
It doesn't have to be big.
There's a few, that must have cost you a bit.
Or interesting, or one where, you really put some thought into that one.
Yeah.
And then another one's there's socks or something.
24, you won't say that too.
Well, this year you said to me, trouble is, I always come up with something quite interesting.
Yeah.
I thought, Jesus, pressure's on.
Yeah. What day is it? It's 20th, 21st today, isn't it? And I've got 8 more to get.
Well, you don't have to get them all by the 1st, do you? That's the point.
No,
because last year they still arrived.
I know, but I still feel as though I should.
Do you?
Yeah, because once you get the 1st of December, I can't be asked anymore.
You're done.
Done then. Yeah. No, it's good fun,
yeah.
And it means that we've got, and they're all things that we are either one of the things that you really want, or they're silly as that don't cost much, so it's a laugh.
Well, there could even be just something to do with the kitchen. That's the thing. You can get those.
You get me stuff for the kitchen because I love my cooking.
But things like that, which you wouldn't necessarily think were a present, as in a main present, but they're. I
remember
good
4 of mine last year were bloody great litre bottles of syrups for me coffee.
Yes.
Yeah, we're still using them now. We just got
finishing.
Just got the end of them.
Yeah.
I hope we get them again.
Well, that'll be
get off Amazon. Stop ordering now when we're on the podcast.
I don't get you the same presents I've got you before.
No, I know. Oh.
Yeah. Did you notice the second silence there?
Yeah. Anyway, excuse me, I'm going to cough.
Okay.
It's not COVID, don't worry, folks. You're perfectly safe listening to this. So what else are we going to be up to this next week then? Last week. Okay, let's get my commissions out the way then.
Okay.
So we will talk about those.
Yeah.
And this is partly down, I don't know whether it's down to you or not, but occasionally as we all do, us artists, we get a bit worried about, we're not selling much this week, this month. And I think, I wonder if I got my pricing structure right. Am I getting to enough people? Am I reaching enough people that could buy my work? And you keep saying, don't think of that. That's negative thought. Just imagine what you want. Imagine that you manifest that you want sales. And
you have to imagine how you feel if you'd have loads of sales. And just...
I'm feeling that now.
Yeah, and just go with that feeling. And just have that feeling. And then that will attract more of that feeling to you. Yeah.
And it seemed to. And the... one or two of them were ones that we got from the last show, from MK.
Yeah.
We've got the Darth Vader one's nearly finished. I've done Darth Vader.
You've got to finish the cape.
Yes, you're doing the cape for me, aren't you? Darth Vader's big black flowing cape.
Yeah.
I had the Builder one, which... Well, no, first of all, I had Bruce Springsteen, which came along as a result of somebody seeing... And he's the guy that came and collected it yesterday. As a result of seeing my Jimmy Page Led Zeppelin lamp. Guitarists seem very popular. That's the niche that I'm in.
Bob the Builder came up and he saw them as characters and thought, oh, would you be able to do me as a builder?
Yeah, this was a builder that came to see us, wasn't it? At see me, because I've got my own stand now, at Milton Keynes, and he was looking at the character lamps, and he said, we were talking actually, and we're joking really about having a good time, and he said most of his youth he was stoked up on ease and alcohol, didn't he?
Hilarious.
It was hilarious. But he's now got his own construction company, very successful, and does some beautiful work. And apparently his workers rib him about not ever laid a brick in his life.
Desk now, basically.
He's behind the desk now, so he doesn't actually get out there and do any work. So he said, it'd be great if you could do me a lamp of me laying bricks as a bricklayer. And I can have that on my desk and just point down to it and say, yeah, that's me. And that was how we left it. And then he got back in touch with me to confirm this after the show. And it got me quite excited because up until now, the lamps that I've done have been based on a photograph that someone's given me of, I don't know, a guitarist or a person or something. And I've sort of started to stay true to that photograph to get the right pose.
Yeah.
But this was a bit more free and easy. And
you could interpret.
I could interpret, and I thought, oh, this is going to be good. So I thought, obvious thought first of all was Lego bricks.
Yes.
Lego bricks, make a little bit brick wall out of Lego. I ordered some Lego bricks. They arrived, look shit. Absolute shit. They no. There's no way in this earth that I could have put Lego bricks on there. So I got myself, and I've never used air dry clay. And so I got myself some air dry clay and bought a little brick mould.
Look really good.
For making, and I made all these bricks.
Yes.
And it ended up, and you'll see this on my feed, it ended up as a diorama, really, of this guy bending down. I made a little tiny, you love the little trowel that I made.
The little trowel was great. I love the bucket as well.
Yeah, one of these times, the day that I did all of this, you sort of get this intuitive way of going about it, and then when I got the lamp finished, I thought, shit, I haven't even told him how much this is going to cost. So the agreement was, I priced it in my head, got back to him, he agreed the price, and I made the lamp.
But you made the lamp?
I made the lamp, then thought,
I haven't told him
I better
how
work
much.
out. Anyway, it was fine. So I made the little tiny builder's trowel.
Yeah.
I made a bit of cheap tin, and I made the little bucket out of a large piece of
and a spirit level.
socket. The spirit level I made while the glue was drying on the head thing, and so I was very pleased with it.
Yeah.
It looks good. And then that same day as I was finishing that off, I got another super commission from a rock DJ on Absolute Radio, Leona Graham, who might well be listening to this podcast as we speak, because I shall copy her in on it.
She probably would have turned off by now.
No, she won't. We haven't sworn enough for dinner. And she presents programmes on Absolute Radio, but she's the queen of rock for Absolute Radio. Her knowledge of rock music and her big... she's a big fan of Slash.
Right.
Guns N' Roses, Slash. And she said... she sent me a message on Instagram, which I thought, oh my God, I got a message from Leona Graham. You know what it is when you listen to people on the radio and then all of a sudden one of them messages you. Well, no, you wouldn't know because you don't listen to the radio.
No.
But someone that I listen to every day on the radio then happens to DM you on Instagram and said, love your lamps. Could you make me one of Slash? And we had a few messages back and forth. And so I've got to do that. And the day after, I got another... message come, and this is getting ridiculous, from a guy who wants me to do Richie Faulkner from Judas Priest. And
I said you're being known as the guitar man.
well, this is it, yeah. And I messaged back saying, where did you pluck that one from? And you messaged back saying,
fuck you.
yes, that ended my series of jokes. I've got loads in my head.
Yeah, that's why I said fuck you.
I'm just stringing you along.
I'm taking my earphones off now, guys.
I'm not going to say anymore. You're all right. We've got Tilly joined us, our lovely tortoiseshell cat. Here, she's not going to say anything, now, are you, Tills?
No.
Say something.
No, she won't do.
Say hello.
She'll wait. No,
speak to me. Sorry. So let's get on now to...
So, and also last weekend I went to the Contemporary Art Fair.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about that, because I wasn't invited. That was great, wasn't it?
You were invited, but as always, as I explained to Fiona, who I went round the fair with, is that in the distance, when we're sort of months away, you say, oh, I'd like to go to that. And I go, yeah, okay. And then as we get closer, you go, do I have to go? And I go, no. And I knew you wouldn't go because
Fiona, this is not because I didn't want to see you or Katie.
And it's because you've got too many things to do.
I'll tell you
and
what,
now you've got so many commissions.
Too many commissions
you do.
I had to do.
But you always, it's the weekend. And the thing is,
I
at the time, I originally was going to both of the contemporary art fairs because I was doing the one in March in Sandown, but now you're also going to be doing the one in March in Sandown.
Yes, I am.
Anyway, it's enough about you. Let's get back to me.
I've been personally invited to do the one.
No, you haven't.
Well,
you just applied like everybody else. Anyway, so I went to...
sounds a bit run-of-the-mill.
Yeah, you are run-of-the-mill. Anyway, so I went to the Windsor Contemporary Art Fair to see Katie, and the first thing she said was, oh, where's Steve?
Oh, Katie, I love you. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, you see, I missed even though I wasn't going anyway.
Yeah, Fiona and I didn't miss you, but anyway.
Fiona did. She texted me afterwards. I didn't know, didn't tell you. She said, I really missed you. I was hoping you'd come along.
Well, actually, what she said was, thank God he's not here, because otherwise we wouldn't have got a word in edgeways.
The day was marred by your non-attendance.
Well, marred could be interpreted in many ways, but okay. So, and then we also saw two other artists who we know through our art inspiration group on Facebook, and that's Marion Deacon and Wendy Kimberley. Both fantastic artists, and they're also going to be, well, actually, I'm not sure about Marion, she may do, but be doing the one in Sandown Park. But it was lovely to, number one, meet them in person. Katie, who I've obviously known for ages, hadn't met in person, so met in person for the first time.
One of the UK blues you hadn't met.
Yeah. And so see their art in person. But of course, Katie had sold the big peacock before I even got there. So I didn't get to see that.
Peacock that she did.
Oh, beautiful.
Incredible.
Absolutely beautiful it was. I mean, obviously I only saw the picture because I didn't get to see it in person. But I did see her beautiful lioness, which was that's absolutely
amazing,
stunning. So she had obviously a great fair. Wendy Kimberley kept selling pieces. In fact, she sold the main piece, and then 2 seconds later, a guy who had left and come back in had suddenly said, oh my God, I came back to buy that piece. So she ended up, her husband said, well, don't worry, we'll get Wendy to do that as a commission piece for you. So fantastic.
So I say it's your first foray into contemporary arts fairs.
As an art fair, rather than art and craft fairs, which we've done up until now. And it's very different, obviously, because you literally just put your pieces out on display. Less is more. I've got the smallest of a small stand, which is why it was quite nice to see other people, how they'd actually set that up. And in fact, there was a lady right opposite Wendy who'd got the smallest, and they always have this small stand, but they do it beautifully.
It's on a corner anyways, and you don't need a huge amount of space, just need to show one or two of your pieces and they'll stop people in the tracks. So I decided, having had the run of good luck I've had just lately, and the fact that my pieces are becoming more art-led, I think, in the way that I do them, and commissions, I thought, it were worth doing. So a bit of a risk, but all these things are a nice risk.
No, they're not a risk, are they? They're adverts. It's an advert.
Yeah. So it would be like advertising in Country Living magazine for this particular one, because it's not cheap.
And the thing is, because we both do the show, and obviously we are going to have to stay away, but for us, we're really lucky, because that means our costs of our stay away is kind of half, because it's between the two businesses and everything. So
we don't have the hotel I'm staying in yet, do we?
No, you're obviously not staying in the one I am.
So,
but anyway, so it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant to see the guys, and also to see it was a great I really enjoyed going to this fair, and the mixture, the diversity of the art, which was there, and I thought, brilliant, I'd love to be a part of this. You know.
Well, they've got nobody else there doing fibre sculpture.
No.
And nobody else there, you could say, doing lamps like mine. So hope that stays true for March at Sandown Park.
I'm sure.
So let's get on to the next piece, shall we?
Okay. Just as well you didn't get rid of that one, wasn't it?
Yeah, because that's...
it's going on and on, isn't
I know,
it?
I can't stop it.
Yeah.
That's appropriate because yet again this week, it's all about Steph's bits.
Yes,
Over to you.
I'm afraid so. So, yes, I basically had to go to the hospital for a procedure. And I won't go into detail. Won't go into detail, but I will say it was in the gynae ward, and all women will understand if I say I was in the stirrup chair.
Stirrup chair. And she hasn't become a jockey. Can you imagine?
But the thing is, we always say between you and me is you will, whatever, wherever you are, you will be promoting your art. I mean, even if you were having a slash in the toilet, you'll be promoting your art to the bloke next to you, won't you?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just who you are.
Surreptitiously balancing a business card. And he'll look there, what the? Just in case you want a lamp made of your dick.
Oh, yeah, I'll tell you about the pick dicks later. But anyway, yes, that was, I told you about pick dicks.
Oh, you did? Yeah, oh, God,
anyway,
This is going downhill fast, this podcast.
Yes, anyway, we'll get
normal podcast then. Which country are we going to offend this time?
Anyway.
Yeah, so, go back to your legs akimbo.
I arrived and people... that obviously they were saying was they're taking your blood pressure and all the malarkey. What do you do? And for the first time ever,
I haven't got a drum roll on here.
I uttered the words, I'm a full-time artist.
Yeah! Results.
Which immediately, obviously, people...
You've never called yourself... You've called yourself an artist. Yep. But you've never called yourself a full-time artist.
I'm a full-time artist.
Brilliant.
And
well done, you.
So I love that. And then, so obviously the next thing was, what do you do? And I showed them some pictures. And I suddenly remembered that the last show had some brochures done. And when I went to the Contemporary Art Fair, I also tucked some in just in case. Right. So I said, actually, I've got my brochure with me. And so I was handing them out. So then...
The truck came down. Beep, beep, beep. Pallet load of brochures landed in the ward.
Which I've never done before, as you know. So then they were quite intrigued and asking me about the price and everything. And, they weren't shocked, so that was great. By the time I got into the doctor for the he said, I hear you're the famous artist.
Oh,
ka-ching. So that was hilarious. Yeah. So, and then obviously procedure and everything was had. And as always in these times, they always chat away to you, trying to distract you, talking about art. So I've never quite been in that position before when people have been asking me about my art.
Well, I know, legs akimbo.
Legs akimbo as I'm chatting away about, how I did my art and everything.
I can see the formation of a lamp coming on here.
No, I don't think so. But also what was then hilarious, so that and as I say, I said to you, the cartoon for me was me, legs akimbo, handing out brochures, you know, but...
I've got a quote here. While you're down there, do you want a brochure?
No, that was you. That was your mind, not me. But then, obviously, all done, and you go out and just to check out. Yeah. And the nurse came out and said, the doctor wants to see you. And I thought, oh dear, that could be something that... So I went in and he said, no, I just want a brochure.
Brilliant.
Which I loved,
and
I just
fantastic.
thought you would be so proud of me that I am selling my art, handing out my brochures, and I immediately came out as the first. I didn't tell you about the procedure, did I? I told you about...
You didn't tell me about anything like you just said, I'm going to have my brochures. So there's no situation in the future that will ever hold you back.
If I can do that...
If you can do it while you're having your bits examined and you can hand out a brochure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we didn't take a commission off him.
Hilarious.
But that just shows you the way you think about your art and everything now is a lot different to how it was at the beginning.
Yes,
absolutely. The confidence you've got in promoting it.
Absolutely.
Because everybody has this sort of, what do they call it, imposter syndrome. But I think that...
But it doesn't take much to perk, because I was speaking to Elisa about this yesterday. Elisa has just sold one of her...
She's that wonderful Italian figurative artist.
Yes, and she really does beautiful interpretation interpretations of people's soul, basically.
Yeah.
And she did Frida Kahlo, and she's done, and they're still available, these really small mini portraits, and the lady had been interested in one of those. And like we were saying, trying to occasionally promoting ourselves, and Elisa's very much the same as me, which is you don't tend to push yourself forward. But she said, oh, actually, I do have a full-size Frida Kahlo, which the lady was immediately interested, came round to see it in Elisa's, I'll say studio, came round to her studio to see it and bought it.
Wow.
Which is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And also got this fantastic testimonial from, it was a husband had asked for a portrait of his wife, and we'd seen it as it had been completed, and the wife was saying she was terrified because he obviously loved this picture and it was going to be up on the wall, but she just had this feeling that she was going to be looking at this picture of herself that she didn't like.
Right, yeah.
Because we don't often like to look at ourselves, but the picture present company accepted, obviously. But when she saw it...
Oh, it's beautiful. I saw it and it wasn't quite finished.
It wasn't quite finished when you saw it, but it's beautiful. And she said, oh my, at least you have painted me beautiful. And that's because Elisa painted her soul and not necessarily how this lady saw herself, which is, I mean, the testimonial...
It takes some doing that, because it's still going to be a likeness, but it's going to bring out the inner...
Yes.
The inner part.
Yes.
But it's like the guy that came around yesterday to pick up his lamp. He'd seen my Jimmy Page lamp on my Instagram feed and was going to buy that.
Yes.
And then he just looked down and saw I did other ones. So he thought, oh, I'll just on the off chance.
Just ask.
If you can do Bruce Springsteen. And he was a mad Bruce Springsteen fan. And I always worry that people are going to think...
He's such a mad fan. Didn't he say he's spoilt 2 marriages?
Well, yeah. His first divorce was because he spent £9,000 having a replica Bruce Springsteen guitar made and didn't tell his wife till it arrived.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't, would you?
And
really?
This guitar was made to look like the 1957 Bruce Springsteen
which means nothing
SG, but no, even down to the paint on the guitar board peeling off.
Oh.
It was
wow.
It was all worn away, and the guy that made it for him makes replica guitars for the stars so that they can put their really expensive one in the bank vault
and use this
because the double-headed one that Jimmy Page has got, that one is worth about £5-6 million now. So he's gotten exactly the same made one by this guy.
So he got one. Mate.
So he bought one, and he's been to 28 Bruce Springsteen concerts across the world. And there was me worrying about him spending 350 quid on a lamp. This is it. You can stop worrying about that.
Well, that's right. And that, once again, that was something else that Elisa and I were saying, which is, our prices are set because of, the time it takes, but also we don't do it by the hour.
No, if we did, you don't make any money. Anyway.
But you just need one person for it to be their thing. Like that guy and his Bruce Springsteen and, the lady who wanted the Frida Kahlo. Thetis and Gaia are about to be dispatched, once again.
That's not killed.
No, not dispatched.
Thetis being your sea turtle and Gaia being your... gecko.
Yeah,
over to Puerto Rico, they'd be ended up,
but they were going to South Carolina, wasn't it, first? But
a bit of a holiday for them.
Yeah,
I better take them personally. I think.
And drop them
off.
Just to be super careful. Yeah, so
they'll just as cheap. Bloody hell. So what else happened in the last week? A little update on Ezra.
Oh, yes.
Grandson, who, if you looked at my feed, you would see that he was in hospital again in Great Ormond Street. He's had the rest of his pancreas removed, almost all of it, because he's got this disease, hyperinsulinism. But he's making a good recovery. He's walking around now, and he's a bit grumpy still, and won't let them touch his stitches. But that's him. But
there will be a few weeks before it's known
the
whether
operation was a success as it could be. So
he's recovering from that. I also want to do a little bit of a shout out because one of our Blooms girls, Cindy. Unfortunately, her husband is ill, Bill, who we meet when he comes to the shows every time. So I just want to say I'm hoping that perhaps this is something that they can still do, because I know that Bill is, a long way away in hospital. Perhaps they could listen to the podcast together.
They could.
And if they are, we are wishing you both huge amount of health and get back together and...
Bill, I hope you make a good recovery.
Darling people.
And they're lovely people, lovely people. But in Australia, They are thousands of kilometres
Yes.
apart, but
Yes.
they'll be brought together by the podcast.
They will.
We're talking to you both now,
Yes.
Bill and Cindy, wishing you all the best, giving you all our love.
Absolutely.
And then we've been ferrying our little other grandson, that's Ez's brother, around.
Yes,
and then I just sometimes feel for him a little bit when he's in your company. Because
he asks me questions and he gets honest answers.
but then I wasn't with you yesterday. I can imagine his face when he was excitedly telling you that he's going to have his basketball net put up in the garden. And then you said the immortal words,
I used to play basketball for England.
yeah. And you said his little face just dropped.
The thing is with Stan is he's very competitive. And even when you're playing drafts, he'll cheat, basically, to try and win. And I won't let him ever cheat against me.
And you won't let him ever win if you just let him win.
No.
Properly.
But he does genuinely beat me at things. But what I don't do, because I hate it when people used to do it to me as a child.
Let the children win. Oh,
no,
go
you
on.
don't learn that way. You don't learn that way. So you just saw his little face like, oh my God, I don't even get a chance to play,
basketball.
But then he
beat
was
Steph.
explaining to me that they have this special game with regards to dunking your laundry. And I think what he was trying to imply was, yeah, we won't be doing it properly, Steph, trust me.
Yeah. Look, no, don't play against him, because even in your current condition...
What condition? How dare you?
I mean, you're...
How very dare you?
No, if you let me finish... Well, you haven't been training lately. You're out of training.
Training for the last 40 years.
In your current untrained, you haven't been on the training ground. You still beat him. That's the problem. I can imagine you'd run him off the bloody court. You'd be then the ball would be going around you. You'd be spinning it on the end of your finger. The poor little kid would be saying, "Please, Steph, just let me play with the ball one." No, fuck off you.
You've got to get it off me.
Get it off me. Come on, you little shit, get it off me. You think we're joking, we're not. This is what she's like, folks. This is what I live with every day. Every day.
Yeah.
I was going to say something else then, and we were halfway through that conversation, and there's something else came to mind, and now it's disappeared.
Well, that's gone forever now, isn't it?
That's the truth. That's the truth. Do you have that moment when you just on the tip of your tongue and you get so angry?
Sidetracked.
It was. Was I in the kitchen yesterday, and I was swearing at inanimate objects and didn't realise you were still in the house.
I was in the lounge on the computer, and you were in the office saying all sorts of things, and I forget what expression that you said, but it was obviously something awful in your mind had happened, and I said, having a bad time, and you went, oh my God, you're in the house.
I think I was something I banged into or sort of dropped or something, and I have this habit of swearing at inanimate objects. And anyway, I can't think of anything else. I've got things on my list here, and you always moan at me because I write things down.
So say them, even though we have no idea what they're referring to.
Right. Okay, these are things, folks, that over the last few weeks I've written down.
Yeah, which something very funny happened because of it.
But I haven't written enough
for us to know what it was.
Okay, the first one, I think, is "You're better on your knees than I am." Was that when we were putting something on the kitchen?
No, that was the kickboard.
In the kitchen.
And we had to go down and see if there was something underneath.
Oh, and you're better on your knees than I am.
Yeah, we know what that is, yeah.
And God, the bit here that I wrote down, that'll go soggy if you don't chew it.
Yes.
What the hell was that?
I still don't know what that was. I still don't know.
I must put more information.
Yeah.
Tell you what, folks, this is a competition. There's no prize. If you can think of anything,
you can put the story to go with the
punchline.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got "You're better on your knees than I am." If you can think of a good one,
fair enough.
That'll go soggy if you don't chew it.
Yes.
There are no accidents. They're absolute decisions. Bit deep,
yeah.
that, isn't it?
No. That was actually a funny thing. It was where you said something like, "Oh, by accident I did this," and then it was like the 2 seconds.
Oh, yes.
And I then said, "There's no such thing as that." I.e., you've deliberately done this, but I can't remember what it was referring to. So
it was nothing, folks. It was completely made up.
It was a funny thing, but we can't remember what.
And I'm going to end on this one because stay young, be a lesbian.
Yeah.
I think that we were looking at the TV and somebody looked very good for their age.
And you said it was something to do with and you said, "Oh, they're a lesbian," and I looked at you and said, "What's that got to do with stay young, be a lesbian?" and you then wrote that down, and oh my god,
so
hilarious.
That's it. And so that's
no idea.
So if you think of any good, or if you've got a topic you want us to cover on this, if you've got no matter how controversial, in fact, the more controversial,
in fact,
the better.
Give us a punchline.
Give us
and
a
we'll
punchline, and we'll create a story behind it.
There you go.
A proper story, backstory.
Yeah.
You
name it.
There'll be some jeopardy involved.
No, you're going too far.
I am. Right. Okay. Well, that's it, folks. Thank you very much for listening to this 35 minutes.
We always do 35 minutes.
I know, but I'm always amazed at how it just lasts for that long, how people are still listening after the first...
You don't know that they're listening,
no,
sweetie.
That's true. No. Wake up! You! Wake up! Anyway, folks, thank you very much. We'll see you all in a couple of weeks' time. Have a good time whatever you're doing. Be safe. Have fun. Find your joy in everything you do and all that bollocks, basically. It's good night from me.
It's good night from him.
Good night. That was Filaments and Fibre with, oh God, Stephanie Lester and Steve Brooks. Oh, shit.
So was that Steve Brooks the fucking guru at the end there?
Guru?
Yeah.
Well, that was a long antlered, no, that's a gnu.